Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to my podcast. My name is Yer, and this is a podcast of Love, Light, Shadow, where I will talk about everything having to do with spirituality, astrology, all things metaphysical, different types of healing modalities, and just about anything else. This is going to be a journey of self-discovery and self-improvement for all of us. I will talk about love, light, and bringing light to our shadow and to our dark places. All of these topics touch my heart and are near and dear to my soul, and remembering my true essence has helped me tremendously, and I just want to share all of that with you, and hopefully you can find your way as well. Thank you so much for being part of my journey, and I am so honored to be a part of yours as well. In the first episode, I covered universal law, and I covered the universal laws of divine oneness, vibration, and action. In this episode, I will cover the universal laws of correspondence, the universal law of attraction, the universal law of cause and effect, and the universal law of compensation. I don't plan to dedicate this entire podcast to universal laws, but I'm pretty sure that I probably could. But because I'm so passionate about universal laws and I feel like they're so important in my life personally, it's the first thing that I wanted to cover in my podcast. In October, I actually started posting videos to Facebook, and my first videos were about universal law. I will talk about many other things besides universal law. I will talk about many other spiritual-esque topics, and I'll talk about healing modalities as well. I'll have episodes that are dedicated to guided meditations, and I'll also have episodes that are geared towards shadow work, mental health, and self-work. I strongly feel like the best way to open ourselves and to remember our true essence is to really understand who we are as people and as souls being human, living in this lifetime. I feel that in order to do that, we must gain knowledge of ourselves and why we process things the way that we do. I believe that in order to grow as souls, we must first build self-confidence, self-esteem, and self-worth. Now, I cannot do that for you, but I can be your cheerleader while you do it for yourself. I'm sitting here rooting you on. I'm your biggest fan. I ask that you reach out to someone, though, if you get into a spot where you feel like you're all alone, like you can't do it anymore. I don't want you to feel alone on this journey of self-discovery, self-improvement, and self-love. It's not easy at all. It's very challenging, and it is that way for a reason. I believe that it's worth it in the end, though, and I encourage you to keep going. I feel that balance is very important in our lives, and I feel like it's probably one of the most important things to learn. I feel like the best way to open ourselves and to remember our true essence is to really understand who we are as people, and as souls, and as beings, being human, and living in this lifetime. The first universal law that I want to talk about in this podcast is the universal law of correspondence. But before we get into the universal law of correspondence, I want to define the word correspondence first. Well, I want to let Google define it. Google defines the word correspondence as a close similarity, connection, or equivalence. With the universal law of correspondence, the two things that are corresponding are the inner world, which is the universe inside of us, and the outer world, which is the universe that's occurring on the outside of us, or the outer world. The universal law of correspondence simply means that what we see in the outer world is a direct reflection of things that are going on inside of us. So what we perceive to be happening on the outside of us is actually occurring inside of us as well. It's like the world is a mirror to our own universe inside of us. Even if it's not at the same intensity, it's still a reflection. And when it comes down to it, it's all about perception and how we're choosing to see it. I found an article online, and it's by somebody named Bree Brown. And the article is called Law of Correspondence, the 12 Universal Laws of Manifestation. It beautifully states, The paradox of the law of correspondence is that the things around you influence how you feel, but how you feel can also alter the things around you. I'm just going to repeat that one more time. The paradox of the law of correspondence is that the things around you influence how you feel, but how you feel can also alter the things around you. This means that things that are occurring inside of you are a direct reflection of how you feel things are occurring outside, and the same with the outside going in. It's all about perception. What you're choosing to see is how you're feeling on the inside. We can choose to see the positive or the light, or we can choose to see the negative or the dense. What we choose to see on the outside is how we're feeling on the inside. Do you ever notice that when you surround yourself with negative people that you might be feeling a rather negative or dense state of mind? You might not even be doing it intentionally. Sometimes it's easier to keep negative people, situations, places, and things around so that we don't have to change our feelings and our thoughts that we have inside of us, what we're creating within our own universe internally. The universal law of correspondence also challenges us to look for repeating patterns that may be occurring for us. It really makes us look at our challenges in a different light, and it makes us see ourselves, and it makes us see our shadow. It makes us face our patterns, and it makes us seek the reason why our patterns keep occurring for us in the first place. There's a quote that I really love, and I'm not sure where to give credit to, but it's a prime example of repeating patterns. The quote is, "You will continue to meet the same person, but in different bodies until you learn the lesson." I recently faced my own repeating patterns while doing some pretty intensive inner work and shadow work. I found myself in the same relationships, but with similar types of people. Even if the people looked different and outwardly appeared different or had personalities that came off differently. These people were all of similar frequencies and vibrations, and they all essentially ended up treating me the same. They're not bad people, it just didn't work out. But most importantly, I felt the same around these people. I would get pulled back into a very familiar vibration whenever I was around these people. I allowed myself to get pulled back into this vibration. The way that I felt when I was around them was familiar to me. As much as I pride myself on not being afraid of change and welcoming change, I discovered that I was afraid of peace because I'd become so accustomed to chaos. The next universal law that I'm going to talk about is the universal law of attraction. The universal law of attraction is by far the most popular of the universal laws. I'm sure everybody has heard about the universal law of attraction, even if they haven't heard about universal laws. I feel like this is because there's so much emphasis placed on romantic love, and as a society, we push romance and we push love because love sells. Just take a look at all of the so-called holidays about love. We have Valentine's Day, we have Sweetest Day, we celebrate anniversaries more than we celebrate birthdays. Love sells. And this is why I believe that the law of attraction is the most popular one. Without looking at the law of attraction, though, through rose-tinted glasses, it refers to the vibration that we attract into our lives. When we look back at the law of vibration, we raise our own vibration through positive thoughts and actions and through positive energy. We become the vibration that we want to be. That's simply just how we raise our vibration, and the law of attraction works hand in hand with the law of vibration. With the law of attraction, we're attracting a similar vibration, and it doesn't have to be love. It doesn't even have to be people. It can be places, things, situations. It can be much deeper than just a romantic love. With the law of attraction, we are able to manifest people, places, and things of similar frequencies and vibration, although we can still attract things that are of a denser vibration as well. And this isn't me trying to be negative or anything, this is just me being a realist. We all have to be aware that we will continue to attract things of a denser vibration, and not all things that come into our lives are going to be a vibrational match for us. To me, one of the most important things about understanding the law of attraction is knowing that you are worthy of it. You are worthy of what you wish to attain or attract into your life. So if you want to attract it, whether it be a partner, a friend, a career, or a certain situation, whatever that may be, you have to know that you're worthy. In my opinion, it's not likely that the universe will allow you to attract something into your life if you have self-doubt about it, because it's not a vibrational match. So please know that you're worthy of everything you want, and please feel it. Just know it in your heart. If you want love, first try to be love, and then you won't even have to give love because you will radiate love. One of my favorite things to say is that the love that we attract into our lives is a direct vibrational match for us. We must love ourselves first. Because while we can have love in our lives that holds a greater vibration than one that we currently send out, it's difficult to truly accept that love if it's of a higher vibration. When we are vibrating higher, the love that we attract will flow through us easier because we're a direct vibrational match for it. So remember that the love that we attract into our lives is a direct vibrational match for us. So please, love yourself first. Next, I want to talk about the universal law of cause and effect. But before I really get into the law of cause and effect, I want to mention again the law of action. The universal law of action states that in order to manifest, we must put things into action. We must create that for ourselves. The law of cause and effect goes hand in hand with that, and it states that every action has a reaction. Every cause has an effect. We are in control of our actions. Thus, in control of the effect of our action, because our actions cause the effects. Everything in our life we bring through action, even if the action is not acting. This universal law is often compared to the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect states that something as small as a butterfly flapping its wings can cause a tsunami or a hurricane on the other side of the world. The action is the butterfly flying. The butterfly doesn't think that by flying it will create a tsunami. At least we don't think that's what the butterfly thinks. But the butterfly emits energy while flying. Its wings create movement in the air. The butterfly is spreading energy through flying. The air current that it creates has the capability of carrying so much energy, which absorbs so much more energy, that could potentially create a tsunami that could harm millions. No action is too small. The universal law of cause and effect challenges us to take ownership of all aspects of our lives. We are challenged to take ownership of all of the energy that we feel and all of our actions. I want to say good and bad, but these are labels that the human mind creates. The ego creates it. The universe doesn't see things as good and bad, but it sees and senses energy and vibration. The ego places good and bad. It places good and bad to situations and experiences, whereas the universe only sees vibration. The universal law of cause and effect reminds us that we have the power over our experiences. It empowers us to take control of our actions. What we receive is a product of what we give, and the universal law of cause and effect reminds us of this. The next universal law that I will talk about is the universal law of compensation. This law simply states that we will be rewarded for all of our hard efforts. We will be showered with abundance. Through the universal law of vibration, we raise our vibration. Then we're able to put things into action, and then with the law of attraction, we're able to attract things into our lives. Some of these things may come in the form of compensation or abundance. In a lesser amount of words, though, compensation is what we attract into our lives after we take action and after the law of cause and effect comes into play. The easiest form of compensation that we can all relate to is financial compensation. This isn't the only form of compensation, though. Compensation comes in many forms. It can come in the form of love, gifts, romantic relationships, friendships, community, even through validation and attention. For example, one form of compensation that I received this year was Soul Tribe. I was divinely aligned with many more members of my Soul Tribe who encourage me, uplift me, and support me in my journey. It's truly been one of the best forms of compensation that I've ever received in this lifetime. And I know that I'm only finding more members of my Soul Tribe, and I'm only surrounding myself with more people who support me, who love me, and who want to cheer me on my journey. And I so appreciate all of you. As with the law of attraction, though, and since compensation is often a result of the law of attraction, we must believe that we are worthy of receiving abundance. Please never question whether or not you are worthy of compensation, because you so completely are. You're worthy of everything, and you are so worthy of love. So please, this is just a reminder again to love yourself and to be loved, because you are the most important person that you should love. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to my podcast of Love, Light, Shadow. This was the second episode that I've done, and I really, truly appreciate your time and your patience and everything about you. I just appreciate that you're here with me and that you're on my journey with me and that I'm able to share it with you and that hopefully I can help you with your journey as well. Thank you. In the next episode of my podcast, I do plan to do a guided meditation and to discuss meditation. So even if you're a person who thinks that their mind is too busy for meditation, please trust me that you can do it. And this is coming from a person with undiagnosed ADHD, but you can do it. And I just want to let you all know that I'm so grateful for all of you. I love you all. Be love, be light, and be the shadow.